All right, yeah, now go to segue. All right, welcome to the show, everybody.
Hello.
We had a little bit of technical difficulties at the beginning of the show. My fault. Sorry, guys.
No, it's cool.
All right, so welcome to the show, Jen D. I don't know if I'm supposed to say your whole name.
You're allowed to, yes.
Jen
you
Davidson.
Are. Davidson. It's Davidson.
We
yes.
have a brand new addition to the show. Jen Davidson is joining us today. We've been doing a lot of work together recently, and that's what you're going to kind of see on the show today and next week as well. So a lot of interviews that we've been hosting. So a lot we're going to be talking about here in a bit. I am supposed to bring my notes back up, and I forgot.
Do it.
Okay.
Do it. I don't have mine.
What you saw there at the beginning, Wonderland Rangers.
Yes.
A song called Window.
Pretty.
You commented about the video looked real professional.
The video looked phenomenal, and you mentioned it was Brasher Media, and then we saw that at the end. That was pretty cool. The video looked great. Really nice, crisp, clear picture. Cool dudes. Timmy Connolly is in that band. You have some stuff to say about that. So do I. I love the Wonderland Rangers, and especially Don't Say Pluto's Not a Planet.
That's your favorite song?
Yeah, that's my favorite. Yeah.
Well, this one is, the note I had was, this is the first music video that they made. I mean, really? I feel like there was more. There was other music videos, but from what maybe if I'm understanding it wrong, I'm not sure.
How long have they been a band?
You probably are understanding.
They've been around for a while, right?
I think so.
So, I mean, like, the Rumpus has been going on for a while, too.
The Rumpus, Timmy Connolly, the Rumpus, the Wild Rumpus.
I don't know. Maybe at some point we'll get Timmy on the show, and he could tell us, fill us in on all the
Hi,
history.
Timmy.
The history of all that.
Sure.
Because he's, like, also in Abbey Road Live, and then there's another band. I forget the other one.
Right on.
But, you know.
That was a Beatles cover band, Abbey Road Live.
Yeah, I think it's a Beatles and then there's another one that's I just can't remember. It's like I feel like it's at the tip of my brain, but I can't remember it right now. Anyways,
that's okay.
Yeah.
All right, move along.
Anyway, so we got a really cool show for you this evening. We're gonna have some interviews. We mentioned that with some artists later on in the show.
Right.
Interviews that you hosted.
Right.
And this is something that we've got a big event coming up. September 11th at Cine here in Athens. That is, it's called the 13 Collective Art Party and Album Release Show.
That's exactly right.
So it's going to be really interesting. We've got a lot of different performers that are and artists that are involved in this. So Joker TV's covering the event. We're going to be talking about it this week and then next week as well.
That's right.
So.
And both of us are involved in that event in addition to talking about it tonight. Yeah,
you're showing your art too, right?
I am. Yeah. I'm showing my art, and you're demonstrating your art. Demonstrating.
That's an interesting way to put it.
It's an interesting art.
Yeah. So we'll get to that in just a little bit. But first, we've got a couple videos. This next video that we're about to watch is from an artist named YAWNi. And this is somebody you're new to the show, so you might not have seen this, but YAWNi's been on the show. She performed here live. She's from Asheville, North Carolina area.
I honeymooned in Asheville. I love it there.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, I did too. I love that place. So she, at some point, she contacted me and asked me if I could make a music video for her. And so we worked on it. It took a couple weeks of working on it with her filming in Asheville and me editing here in Athens.
Wow.
So so anyways, I ended up with a pretty cool video, I think. I don't know. I'll let you guys be the judge.
Okay.
But this is the debut of that video here on JOKERJOKERtv. And it's called Love You Like a Leper.
Love You Like a Leper.
Yep. And then we'll have some Bryant Perez and Ashley Roth and some other artists after that. So stick around. We'll be right back.
trying to cause me harm. I'm just venting, okay? This is just venting. Just venting. This is just venting. That's all it is. That's all it is.
Some people really trying to make me mad. Peephole bullets put through a couple of you in half. It's time to clean, do work, to know because of staff. Breaknecks, cash checks, leave them dangling heads like giraffe. Some of you will cry and some of you will fucking laugh, cause these clowns are getting their black balloons, and that is really comedic. Do you need a Kleenex, a shoulder pad? I'll do something more horrendous like kill your cat. But I'll be back cause I'm not just stopping with you. Your family looks really cute and I know you can compute. Gonna drown them all in their own puke. with my gun. Bullets hitting targets is not a fluke. Wait until I find a nuke, everyone dies. Sorry to tell you, but I just certainly be that guy. Thanos snap once I be snapping constantly. Watch me eradicate your entire fucking colony. Cause you shouldn't have fucked with me. Stolen my money and now you all fucking see. Oh, you fuck with my potential. You wanna burn or freeze, choose the elemental. Cause you shouldn't have fucked with me. I'm gonna cut your legs off up to the knees. Watch me go crazy, go mental. Open your mouth up, bitch, you're about to go dental.
If you wanna hear the second verse, where the lyrics get worse, send a message to Bryant Perez Music on Instagram. The words, dislocated logic. Once 25 messages of dislocated logic occur, the second verse, or rather the finished song, will be posted. And to those who fucked me over, I'm gonna fuck you right back, baby. Just watch tenfold.
Gloria held her breath, waiting for her husband of nearly 55 years to notice silver was the wrong color. It was her memory, her family album. She could even say she had sung in perfect pitch, and everyone would have to believe her to be telling the truth.
On the bleakest and rarest of days, he hated the mechanical repetition, the carousel of every day being the same. You think a bunch of people wanting to know what happened or talking about Teddy will bring him back?
I don't want him to be erased.
But they aren't just pictures. They're all part of the same phoniness. I don't want the charade of acting like our lives are worth celebrating. Why? Because we stuck it out? He wanted to curate a day that made his family forgive him, a day that would trump the Kodak perfect moments. He would outdo every picture the family had ever framed.
I think it was amazing. I honestly can't remember. What I can say is, wow, look at us. We never took a bad picture.
I want my Joker TV.
The monkey hangs in Hartley Pool, reminding us how we could be so cool. In Birmingham we love the blues, in the Bullring Market where Sabbath rules. Father said old George is at his best when he leads with his left. Now I don't know how they feel in Leatherhead, but in Manchester we bleed red. And that's my England, a little piece of England. Mother's down the Stratford Arms, quoting Dylan Thomas and the bar. My brothers polish up their stones, digging up old T-Rex's bones. That's my England, a little piece of England. Bo is singing, life on Mars is ringing. That's a town called Avalon. HP sauce, you just pour it on. Shepherd's pie, fish and chips, tastes like heaven to the lips. Hurry up, stay calm. If you're going through hell, bloody keep going. That's my England, a little piece of England. That's my England, a little piece of England. The monkey hangs in Hartley Pool, reminding us how we could be so cool. In Birmingham we love the blues, in the Bullring Market where Sabbath rules. 4,000 holes in Lancashire. Hey Mac, can you lend a ear? That's my England, a little piece of England.
Oh, hello, friendo. How are you today?
Fine, thank you.
Just behind you, you'll find our finest beer.
Ooh.
Are you looking for anything in particular?
Yeah, I'm looking for something that's reminiscent of the old days, before our lives were consumed by the digital landscape. Something tangible, something nostalgic, something analog.
Say no more. I think I've got just what you need.
Is it Tropicalia?
Nope.
Classic City Lager?
Nope.
Athena?
Nope.
Cocoa Bunny?
Very close. Behold. Oh, don't worry about that. That's a special brew.
Hello, puppy. Hello, kitty. I'm home. Hello. Oh my gummy. It's a VHS tape. And a movie ticket. Let's throw her in the old CRT, shall we?
Oh my god. Oh my god, what is that? I can hear it. Oh my god, I can smell it. Oh my god, I can see it. It's Athens VHS Fest 2025.
October 12th from 1 to 7. Presented by VHS or Die, Creature Comforts Brewing Company, and Cine. Join us for our 4th year of celebrating analog media at Creature Comforts. There will be a VHS market along with live music from 1 to 5. But wait,
There's more! Much more!
woo! At 5 p.m. Look both ways and cross the street to Cine for a very special screening and Q&A of Ben Winston's Hellbound. If you'd like to sign up as a vendor for free, deadline is September 28th. Please visit www.vhsordie.com/Athens-VHS-Fest.
Did you hear that?
Athens VHS Fest is back and better than ever.
Shit. I don't want to walk.
We'll see you October 12th from 1 to 7 at Creature Comforts in Cine.
Get ready, everybody. Live on the air. Yay, we're back.
Hooray!
Yeah, my headphone keeps like blinking out on this one side.
It does?
Yeah.
Now you're making me paranoid that I have to check mine.
No, you're. It's just this headphones.
Okay.
Anyways, welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
Welcome back yourself.
So let's go over what we just watched. We started the set off with that YAWNi video,
which I really loved, which was all like moon glow and starlight and
super chill,
spacey, relaxing.
Because I made the video, I can't help but see all the mistakes in it, but I'm pretty pleased with it. And I don't know if the storyline kind of come across of what I was trying to portray in what was happening, but there's like two. I read her lyrics and like got this idea that there was two characters that were kind of talking to each other, and one of the characters was floating off into space, and one was in the space capsule.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were telling me about that earlier.
Yeah, and so they're kind of like, it's a back and forth kind of conversation between them two, and like, I don't know if I should give it all away. I guess you just watched it. So the other thing that you might not have caught is that they're both ghosts.
I did not catch that, actually.
Yeah.
I was not aware they were ghosts.
Well,
so they were space ghosts, coast to coast.
Space ghosts.
But it was a fun project with YAWNi doing that. And by the way, YAWNi is going to be back on the show in November or October or something like that. I forget the date. I don't have the calendar in front of me, but coming up in a couple months, YAWNi's going to be back, coming through on tour, and she's going to be here performing live once again. So
right on.
Stay tuned. All right, what else we got? Right after YAWNi was Bryant Perez, and he's got, it's like, from what I understand, this is a diss track, which he kind of says in the track, of course.
Sure.
Yeah, there you go. We're not going to get too much into the drama here, but there is supposed to be a part 2 to that coming out, so we'll wait to see that, and maybe we'll get Bryant Perez back on the show at some point.
All right.
Too.
That was a cool video, though.
Yeah, he's been pretty busy lately, doing a bunch of
Fire
stuff.
Fire track.
Fire track.
Oh, look, there he is in
All
the
right,
chat.
and then
What's up?
love you, Bryant. Really, I love that track though. Like, man, and then the video too is real simple. Like, you barely see him there, and it's like a ghostly figure there. I don't know. It's kind of cool. I liked it a lot.
It was very cool.
And I hear there's like a YAWNi Bryant Perez collab maybe in the works too.
Ooh, a crossover? I'm into it.
Crossovers, yeah.
I'm very into it.
Multiverse here. So then right after Bryant Perez, you saw the Ashley Roth trailer, which was a trailer for her book that she put out. The book is called We Never Took a Bad Picture. And I don't have a copy of the book, so I'm not exactly fully sure what it's about. But that trailer there was pretty awesome, and like, it makes me want to read the book for sure.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the weirdness. I liked the imagery. It was fun to watch, and I'm hoping the book will be fun to read.
Yeah.
Everybody read the book.
Yeah. Buy one from her. And here you go. If you are in these areas, she's got shows coming up where she's making appearances. October 11th, Louisville Book Festival in Louisville, Kentucky. And then October 18th through 19th at the Southern Festival of Books in Nashville, Tennessee. So if you're in any of those areas, mark those dates down and go meet her. Go get a copy of her book.
Attention all bookworms. Attention all bookworms.
So she's somebody that came into the show. Her husband was performing live on the show.
Damn.
And that's how we met her. And she's like in his videos and stuff like that. So that's Dale J. Gordon's wife there. So I see Dale J. Gordon's in the chat. So we're saying, hey, Ashley's in the chat. Great to have you guys.
Hello, family. It's nice to meet you.
And then let's see. After that, we had the Lynx Deluxe, and that they're on Driving and Crying Records. So
that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. So
yeah, I love Driving and Crying.
That was a new track from them. So
are they
thanks
from
for sending
Australia?
it. No, they're from Athens. What are you talking about?
Right.
Now in that video though, it's called A Little Piece of England, and I think they might have did some recording in England or something like that. I'm not exactly sure the whole story, but that was, you kind of see a little bit of that in the video there, and
yes,
recording process and stuff like that. It was really cool. All right, so we have gotten to the point where we're going to be starting to see some stuff that you're more involved in.
That's right.
So we've got a couple interviews that
we have a couple interviews coming up. Yeah. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Mux.
No, you're good.
One of them that we're going to watch right now, I believe, is me speaking with the great Chris McKay.
Yeah.
And he's going to be speaking with us about his art, about AI
Yeah.
as a valid form of art.
Yeah.
You may agree or disagree. Watch to find out.
And comment in the chat what you think about this as you're watching this too.
Yeah, let us know what you think. We're interested. And on top of that, he's going to be talking about our event, the 13 Collective, which is coming up September 11th. He's going to tell us a little bit about that and how out of trauma some art was born.
Yep.
So that's going to be our interview with Chris.
So I wanted to throw out before we go to the interview that the next couple of interviews we've got do discuss trauma and abuse on some of them and health issues. So like if any of that is triggering for you, just fair warning that some of those topics will be discussed.
Absolutely. Nothing gets too deep, but if that's a sensitivity for you, we would rather you not be bothered by it than be bothered by it.
Yeah. But I think the interviews are pretty encouraging because, like this 13 Collective, part of the whole point of putting the collective together and putting these shows together is to get artists that are affected by different things that goes into the making of their art as well.
Right.
And
it's not all sunshine and rainbows, Mux.
Exactly. For anybody, maybe.
No, not for any of us.
But so we're going to learn more why Chris, he kind of started all this. He collected us all together and said, hey, let's do this. So I think it's a pretty interesting story. So we're going to let Chris tell it. And we'll be back after that.
Sounds great.
All right.
Hi, this is Jen Davidson, and I have with me here this evening Chris McKay. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Jen.
I am happy to have you here to speak tonight, especially about the 13 Collective, of which I am also a part.
So strange.
It's just absolutely phenomenal.
Whatever
it's wonderful. Whatever it is.
Maybe if we talk about it, we can figure out what it is.
I think that's a really great starter question. Chris, what does the 13 Collective mean?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's collective because that's the word that people use for these things, but it's a group of artists, for lack of a better term.
Yes.
That come together to create, not just to create, but to create in a way that hopefully has a positive impact, not just for the artist, but for the beholder as well, as it were. And if not, at least to like piss them off.
Fantastic.
So either way, as long as there's a reaction, it ultimately doesn't matter because the art is equally as valid.
Absolutely.
Because all art has to do is affect you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And speaking of art affecting you, I'd like to ask also, what affects your art?
Being alive, for me. And I can't, you asked me my art specifically, so that's all I need to worry about.
Yeah, just your art, man.
No, I can't. I truly don't know how to understand non-creative people. It's I'm trying to think what it means, and I don't even know. So for me, I don't even know how to answer that question because it's just a state of being. It's like, why do you enjoy breathing?
Sure.
I don't know anything else, and I don't know a way around it. And there's plenty of times my life would have been a hell of a lot better off if I could not be creative, if I could not be a musician, if I could not be this, if I could not be that.
So tell us, in all seriousness, where did you get the term 13?
This particular group of people came about. Manda and I had been discussing, Manda, my wife, had been discussing trying to put together a group of people prior to the origin of this so-called collective, but I wasn't able to physically, having a lot of other issues, but I decided, give or take around May, early June, let's see if we can do it.
Okay.
Showed up at an art exhibit, happened to meet the artist Lindsay Swan.
Yes.
Who had a pretty incredible show, and when we walked into the room, a mutual friend was like, you gotta go see her work before you leave. We walked in, and I saw her artist statement first. And my immediate impression was, you need to read this, because this is exactly what we're doing in our own fields.
Right.
Walked in, looked at the work, which was incredible, fantastical, just really interesting stuff. Went over, introduced ourselves to Lindsay, and love your work. Here's my wife. She's an artist. You guys should talk. And I left.
Okay.
So the next day, I had a message from her late that night where she reached out to me. And she was like, I saw that you're a musician. I would like to come do some live painting at one of your shows. And I said, no, not going to happen. I don't perform these days because of my health. I'd love to figure out something, but we can't do that. And they just like, well, if you can't perform, then we'll make you an installation. And that split second was the beginning of this collective.
Amazing.
Because I had never thought of that. It's just like, we can have some video or something that we can represent you while we're doing the art thing. And to me, that all of a sudden, all the ideas started going out and coming in. And basically, it comes down to feeling like a receiver somewhat, because all of a sudden, I saw Mux Blank in my head. I was like, he would be great. Keith Bennett, who I don't know if anybody has done anything with it. These different specific people. Obviously, Manda is going to be a part of it. And several others. You being one of them.
Thank you.
But it was interesting to me that it just came to my mind in flashes of very specific individuals with no idea what we were doing.
Is that typically how your creative process works?
More so now than it used to be, but at this point I prefer it that way, because then I'm not actively working on it, which feels more like craft to me as opposed to inspiration.
Sure.
I don't know if that adds up in a
it makes
in
sense.
a linear way, but to me, you know, when I'm working with my old band, the Critical Darlings, I need to write a Critical Darling song. Sure. I can do it, but it's not like, okay, here's the idea, it's complete, it's done, now I just need to make it happen, which is the way I tend to do it now.
Right.
So I reached out and I was like, well, if Lindsay's responsive to this, which she absolutely was, great. The band is in, great. Then I reached out to Mux. Mux was interested in it too. And every single person that I asked thought it would be an interesting way to do it. We still don't know what the hell we're doing. But what we do know is that every single person involved in this project is neurodivergent. There's your catchphrase. At one level or the other, and pretty much every one of them has survived some kind of trauma of some sort, or life or death situations that we've had to get through.
Yes.
And every single one of us has relied on art to survive, get through it, move ahead, and hopefully not only have whatever we create be healing to ourselves, but in the ideal, do something healing or helpful, or at least to make people not feel as isolated and all this stuff, because each of us do.
Absolutely. And that was one of my questions for you. What compels you to approach the community and make this about all of us as opposed to centering it around yourself?
Because I wanted to see these artists. That's why.
Fair.
It's not, I mean, there's, you can look at that one of two ways. Either it's self-serving or it's the opposite of that. But sure. I'm not going to lie. I specifically, Mux and I had been talking on and off for years about we'd like to try to do something. There was never an opportunity. Nothing came up. And of course, my health being a constant ongoing concern. And suddenly, here's an idea where we can just see what happens. I don't want Mux to do any damn thing except what Mux does.
Right.
I don't want you to do anything, but that's the whole thing. But the beauty of that to me is bringing in these disparate kind of ideas and creating a shared world, because it's a unique world.
Sure.
And all that we do, with your art, with Mux's video, with his music, with everything, we're creating worlds.
We are.
That's what it is to me.
Now, speaking of creating worlds, I watched an 11-minute video today. It was absolutely incredible. It was created by you. It blew me away. It brought me to tears. I had a little bit of background on some of the information, including some of the characters in this video. I will say it is the video for The Price of a Wish. which is your upcoming album release.
Yes.
And it's this single. I would like to hear more from you about the creation of this video and the process.
Yeah, that's hard, because the even explaining this would be hard. It's hard to get from point A to point Z here without so much background stuff.
Sure.
The genesis of this project that led to the video is that in early 24 to mid 2024, I could not move, basically. I couldn't hold a guitar anymore. I could not sing from the bleeding to my throat from tubes from surgery. Nothing. Holding a guitar was excruciatingly painful because it pushed right here with the I could not hold it. I didn't have the physical strength to fret chords. Nothing. And as I said before, I don't know. I don't exist without being creative.
Right.
Period. So whatever the being was that was in this body at the time wasn't me. It was something trying to get through to where I might exist again in whatever other form, because it ain't the form that it was.
Sure.
So there was a whole debate at the time over the use of generative AI. And I had friends on both sides who were vehemently on one side or the other. But pretty much every single one that I respected, it's evil, it's going to destroy the world, we're all going to die in its clutches, it's going to kill us all. And then I saw other respected artists saying, but I can be creative now and I can do things I couldn't do before. And then I specifically saw a story about the country singer Randy Travis, who had a stroke many years before. I'm a stroke survivor. And
I'm also a stroke survivor.
There you go. So I saw an interview where he had, after being out of the business for many years, gone into a studio, communicated exactly how he wanted it to be done, had the song put together exactly how he wanted it done, and then was able to guide a singer to sing it exactly like he would have done it, and then they were able to model his own voice from his old recordings.
Could this be possible without AI, do you think?
No, not unless you just had an imitator.
No, so no.
And then it's not the artist doing it.
Right.
So no, I do not believe it is. So at that point, I was going back and forth. My music friends, it's going to put us out of work. It just doesn't have any soul. It's not real. And I said, I can barely move. I got nothing but let's just see what happens.
Right.
I want to know for myself.
Right.
So I put together in a few days an album. Artist named Divine and Divine, because I didn't want it to be me. That was the other thing. I did it for myself. I did The Price of a Wish for myself too. Those 2 albums were done within about 2 weeks. But I was doing it for me as a healing thing, because I love psychedelic funk, soul, this heavy stuff that gets really experimental and proggy and weird.
Right.
If you listen to the record, it's not for mass consumption. It was something that I needed. And it didn't exist, so I had to create it. And this was the way to create it. And that's the one side. The 2 albums, the other side of the question, The Price of a Wish, notice I'm balancing.
Right.
It's like a balance. It's a scale.
You're doing
thing.
that like scales with your hands.
Yeah, to me, and they equal each other out. And the other end, the Price of a Wish is less intense, because the other side of the question gets really heavy and it's relentless and it's hopefully fun too. But The Price of a Wish is more just like drawn out and very slow moving at times, and where you can just kind of sink into it and fall away if you allow yourself to. And I needed those 2 sides.
Sure.
I needed the other side of the question to be like, you want to survive this? Well, this sucks. Right. Get up, fight if you can, do what you can do, create, be whatever you are now as you're changing, because you're not who you were, you never will be again.
That's right.
And then on the other side, pun noted, The Price of a Wish is more about being on the other side of that and saying, okay, well, here we are now. This is what we have. So let's try to get it out there and make it have value. Because when I did The Other Side of the Question, I sent it to a few friends. That's it.
Right.
I sent it to a few friends who had gone through similar kinds of struggles.
Right.
And the response was ridiculous. First of all, contrary to popular belief, not one person realized that it was created using generative AI.
This is the part that I love. I love it because it's like when you feed a group of people vegan food and you know that they would critique it and criticize it.
Right.
But if you feed it to them and don't tell them what it is, everybody likes it.
Yeah, but I wasn't hiding it, mind you.
Right.
No, I'm leading with this here because
Fair.
I think it's important. But I just wasn't thinking. I was like, I created this. Here you go. And to see what they would say. And they started, oh my God, your voice has changed since the surgery. It's great. And I was trying to make it not sound like me on the first one. The second one sounds more like me. But we were able to, that's me.
Sure.
We were able to create these worlds that I needed, and these other people encouraged me.
That's phenomenal.
And it was surprising to me for some reason that this stuff was resonating because it was not meant.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty dense stuff.
Okay.
And so, now today I finished this 11-minute long video that we will hopefully premiere at this 13 Collective one, that's even denser. And with The Other Side of the Question and the videos that I did for that, I purposely tried to, I would make like little Hitchcockian kind of cameos, or like my photo would be something.
Sure.
But in the year since, with generative AI becoming such a fight between, in my opinion, those who choose willful ignorance versus those who don't judge art by the tools that are used to make it, it's for The Price of a Wish, and specifically the video representation of it. The difference in this album is that I'm making it more about me.
Yes.
Specifically, because I'm not accepting anybody that says it's not me.
And how did you use AI to make this video more about you?
There's the argument is always that it's stealing from other artists. Okay, well then you must not listen to the Beatles.
Right.
What are you talking about? Well, the Ukraine girls really knocked me out.
Right.
How far do you want to go with that? Because I can go all day. How about the one note hit
chords.
at the one note hit at the beginning of Continuing Adventures of Bungalow Bill? That's just a mellotron playing the entire intro.
Right.
That's all. It's anybody. That's the way the thing is. Evolution itself is organic data scraping. Everything that exists is building on what came before it, and taking some parts and leaving other parts behind. But the argument is always, well, I'm just going to type in, write me a song about a flatulent cat, and then it's going to spit you out a song. That's not what I did.
Right. That's not what you did.
No,
Describe what you did.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not knocking people to do that for fun, whatever. Do that. That's just not what I did.
Sure.
I went in, it was like, it needs to be, this recording needs to be from this year, from this date, sometimes the exact date, recorded in this city with this studio limitation. The size of the room being recorded is this size. The microphones are here.
Mm-hmm.
The amp, it's ridiculously detailed.
Absolutely.
For the recordings. And of course, every lyric is mine. Every ad lib is mine. Every or every sigh or every anything is mine.
Right.
So no, I don't fucking accept anyone telling me that it's not me.
Absolutely.
I've recorded records for 30 years, more than that now, in the studio, where I would sometimes, when I wasn't doing everything myself, have musicians in the studio. And I would give direction and say, okay, well, not quite, let's do that again.
Right.
Or, okay, but can we try it this way? That's exactly what I did with generative AI. If it didn't give me what I wanted, if it didn't give me the melody that I wanted, if it didn't give me the chords that I wanted, I would rerun it until I got it. It was just like being in the studio as far as in a creative fashion, the way that I utilized it.
Mm-hmm.
And with this video in specific, every single part of this 11-minute video is built on something that I created personally.
Talk more about that.
And see, I will admit, I've never been really self-conscious about my work, my music, or anything else, because really, you like it or you don't. I don't care. If you like it, great. If you don't, there's something out there for you. Enjoy it. And,
it's a great attitude.
And I'm grateful for anybody that does like it. But with this, I will say that I've gotten a bit self-conscious about it and more defensive than usual, because I've actually had people that I respect who liked, with the other side of the question, for instance, liked the record and then found out how it was created, and the exact quote was, well, this has no artistic merit whatsoever. There's no artistic value.
But what happened beforehand?
But you just liked it 5 minutes ago.
Right.
And that just, to me, shows a level of hypocrisy that's absurd when, come on, Mick Jagger's absolutely, I mean, the Stones are totally using AI on those Andrew Watt recordings, the Ozzy stuff. Billy Joel used it on Turn the Lights Back Up. But they're not telling you, so that's okay.
Right.
But I'm being honest, so I'm the problem.
It's
Fuck
like an
that.
industry secret.
But that's where, this is where, you know, a lot of the stuff with the 13 Collective is neurodivergence, either full-on autism like with me, or just neurodivergent stuff. One of the things that trigger most of us, I'm not speaking for everybody, I'm speaking for me, is a sense of injustice.
Correct.
For me, it's this injustice where I'm cool with it as long as I don't know.
Right.
But something's wrong with you if you're honest about it. No.
Right.
So, you know, the video, you know, the album cover, wherever it is around here, the album cover itself is a self-portrait with, where you got it over there? You can see the way the line's going up the back of the stocking. No, up the back of the neck there. That's pointing to my dissection, where my vertebral artery dissection is.
And for those who don't know, the similar terminology that you're going to be familiar with to a dissection is someone who has a stroke.
Yeah, and I had a separate cerebellar stroke on the opposite side of on the opposite side of the brain stem. Note the C, the ear. That's my first initial, just to be more obvious. The other figure in the back is my physical body, which I couldn't see anymore because I didn't have full function over it. Even the eclipse there, because the wreck happened like 2 weeks after the great solar eclipse of 2017. There's details all through this. Oh, and the C, by the way, is also when the head turns in 3 dimensions, are headphones. The white around it is like the music and the ideas and trying to find the body. And I don't accept that that's not art because I used...
You can say fuck on JOKERJOKER TV.
Yes. But I'm my point being that I created that. I created that using a program called Midjourney, but then I went in and changed it further. Using Photoshop, using other artistic skills. It's exactly what I wanted it to be. That's the first frame of the current video.
And it's pretty incredible how that frame moves, and
if you watch it, it's looking for the physical body, and the physical body is sliding away and out of range.
And it feels like you're going through, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but it feels like you're actually going through arteries at one point.
There's a few instances of that, which I'm glad that you got, and most people are not going to get. But that beginning of it, the body slips away. Then I'm focused on, since I don't have my physical body anymore to access. You notice that's when the concentric circles come up.
Absolutely.
That's the music coming in and going out and trying to find a way to express it and just sending it out to wherever.
And I'm hoping people will turn up for September 11th for our show. And I want them to see the video and hear the music. In the meantime, is there anything we haven't covered that you would really like to discuss?
Yes, tons, but we're never going to get there because there's not enough time in the world. And by the way, to get back to answer your question I never answered before, it's 13 Collective because both Lindsay's family and history and mine are connected to that number.
That's incredible. So, okay, I want to again just plug The Price of a Wish and how incredible that album is. For anybody who has a question about the way that we as a society use generative AI, this is going to be the one you need to see. This is the one that might be the exception to your rule. And I encourage you to think about this in the context of a term called ableism. a term called illness. I want you to think about this in terms of how people have access to their own creative arts, the way that Chris describes. Chris, how can people get in touch with you, and how can people hear your music?
chrismckay.bandcamp.com, or look me up on Facebook, Critical Darlings. But yes, your argument is accurate. I'm sure somewhere in the world some musician has been put out of work by generative AI. I've yet to meet them, but I've met several that have been back to work.
Sure.
Because of it. And a good real musician is not going to stop doing that either. And in fact, part of the hope for this first show is that if my health allows, I'm going to go up on stage and play, music that people say isn't real. And I've actually had people say, well, you can't do it live. Oh, I can fucking do it live.
You can
if my
fucking
body
do it
will
live.
let me, I can do, that's the thing. If this thing will let me.
Yeah, you're a musician who, to put things into perspective for anybody watching, when Mickey Dolenz came to town, you came and played with Mickey Dolenz. There's really nothing else I need to say, I think, to just sum up. The freaking monkeys. So
Yeah, so it was nice to be asked to do that.
Yeah, he was invited to do that, as a matter of fact. Didn't just show up with the guitar.
My first time back on stage in years with a full band behind me without just sitting in, and I turned around and Peter Buck was behind me on guitar. And I'm like, what the hell is happening? And I started freaking out a little bit, and then I realized that there's hundreds of people all singing along, and the mayor's like, okay, Mickey's car is broken down, so can you do the whole set again? And all these great musicians had asked me to be there, and I suddenly realized, okay, I'm singing I'm Not Your Stepping Stone, waiting for Mickey Dolenz, with Peter Buck playing guitar, and these great musicians. Clearly, this is a coma fantasy or something. There's no world in which this is a reality. So just enjoy it. And I actually calmed down, because I was starting to freak out for a second when I looked around. I was like, where did Peter Buck come from? Why does he look like George Washington? What is happening? But yeah, so yeah. As soon as I realized that, good, because I'm just dreaming.
Wow. Just dreaming. I think that's a great way to end the discourse for the evening. Make sure you look up Chris McKay. Make sure that you come and join us September 9th. That's coming up soon.
September 11th.
September 11th. Why did I say 9th? Because it's 9, and I looked at September for... Yeah.
What better night for a party than 9/11?
September 11th. Come party with us. It sounds great, right? You know you want to. What the hell else are you doing? Come join us.
Join us.
Join us. Welcome back.
All right. Well, we're not back yet. Oh, yeah. I think
We're sort of back. Now we're back.
We're back. I'm telling y'all, we're back.
So that was pretty informative about his adventures in AI and some of what this 13 collective is going to be and everything. So I thought that was really cool that you had a chance to interview him like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Shout out to my husband who's trying to make me laugh and succeeding by sending in funny messages.
He's in the chat.
He's probably going to say September 11th, never forget, every time that you have the date, just because that's his sense of humor, and it's a great sense of humor.
Well, we've had some new people in the chat this week, so it was pretty cool to see. And Potty Scotty in there. Supposedly, we were talking about, he does a restaurant bathroom reviews. And
fantastic.
That's one of the things he does. And so we've been talking about putting some of that stuff on Joker Joker too. So we look forward to that.
I think that would be wonderful.
Yeah, he does some other stuff too. So we'll see what happens. But
Potty Scotty, get in touch.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay. So anyways, Chris McKay, you interview that. This was kind of was you were invited by Chris to participate in this 13 collective, right. And so doing the interviews kind of became your job, right?
It did. It became my piece. Let's say it became my piece of a pie that's going to be delicious because it contains ingredients from many different artists.
Yeah. And like, how did that come about? Like that you ended up being that?
Well, I don't know. That's a great question. I think Chris and I were talking probably over Messenger. We do that sometimes. The topic of me interviewing in a past life had come up. I have interviewed over 300 trauma survivors while the topic of this is trauma made a significant match. And at that point, I think Chris was talking about some silliness about me being the glue. And I felt that this was something we needed to do together, and Chris really sparked it. So I'm glad that he connected us with each other too, because that's turned out to be more than the September 11th event as well. But that's really how it started for me with the collection, the collective, and with Chris's interview.
And you're also going to have some art at the event.
I will. Yeah. I'm going to be showing for the 13 Collective. I'm going to be showing 13 Dopa Beans. And
what are Dopa Beans?
Dopa Beans are my sculptures.
Oh man, I should have brought mine over here.
It's okay. It's okay. They'll have to come to the show. Come to the show. They're cute.
So little creature about this big around, and it's got cute eyeballs and funny faces, and you paint them and you make them out of different things.
That's right.
So you're going to have 13 on display?
I'm going to have 13 of those on display. Maybe other art, maybe not, but definitely 13 Dopa Beans. And I say Dopa Beans for dopamine. And that's because if we're going to have trauma in art, there's also a place for laughter. And it's frequently said that, funny people have experienced some kind of trauma, or it takes something like that to create art. I don't think that's true necessarily. No. You don't have to go through trauma to create good art. Yeah. But if you look around and do a little litmus test of who's in Athens creating art right now, there are more of us than you would think who have been traumatized by one thing or another. And Chris McKay, Manda, his wife, and Lindsay Swan had the great idea of bringing us together to create art in a safe space, a space that was meant to be comfortable for those who otherwise might not participate. So that's part of what's happening, and it's a very exciting event.
Yeah. And we've got more interviews coming up that we're going to be discussing other aspects of what's happening at this event.
That's right.
That's going to be really cool. Also, like me and you, since we've been working on this together, we've had a lot of time to talk about other things that you do. Like the Dopa Beans, I thought was really awesome stuff. But
Thank you, Mux.
You have a couple other things that you're kind of like in the process of doing and developing right now.
Right.
Like you have a Instagram page that is pretty much a page in the voice of your of Pancake.
That's right.
And you even here's the image. Tell us a little bit about this idea.
So Pancake the dragon is my bearded dragon, Pancake. His name is Pancake, and pancaking is actually a natural phenomenon that bearded dragons will do when they need to get more heat. They'll expand their bodies and become sort of shaped like a pancake, and I just thought it was cute, and I named him Pancake. And he is the most adorable creature the world has ever seen.
Yeah.
And he is in this picture right here.
Thanks, Zero
Thank
Man.
you, Zero Man. Thank you for that. I'm glad that you're messaging us instead of sharing the room with us today. So this photo right here is of some original hand-drawn and painted art by Montreal-based illustrator Tristan Tolhurst.
Nice.
And Tristan is in Montreal this evening. Tristan, if you're watching.
I saw him in the chat earlier.
Thanks for the art. He was here earlier. I know he's packing for a trip. He may or may not be able to be here in this moment, but I'm hoping he's he's looking and listening, and if not, I'll make sure to send him the link. But he is the illustrator that is both a friend of mine and an incredible professional at this. And so we decided to work together as friends and create a book. I've written the content, and he's doing all of the art.
Nice.
And it's just beautiful, right down to his signature in the bottom right corner. You can see it's just amazing. And he's drawn real elements of Pancake's environment. Pancake has a Nerf football that's miniature. He's got some little mushrooms in a special dish.
He's got a little couch.
Yeah, he has a real couch.
You sent me a picture of that.
He does. He has a real
hilarious.
couch. And that's Pancake. And so if you're interested at all in my Mishigas with Pancake, which is Yiddish for crazy, then please join me on Pancake the Dragon _.
Instagram.
At Instagram, and you'll be able to follow what I do with Pancake. Mostly I post pictures of Pancake. Occasionally there's art as well.
If you were paying attention at the beginning of the show, Pancake opened up the show.
He did. That was his TV debut, Mux.
He sang the theme song.
He sang the theme song.
He sang it, and he sang it beautifully, thanks to you.
Yeah. I'm glad I could help. So that's going to be a not only an Instagram channel, but like a book eventually.
It's going to be a book. We're going to have a children's book, and it's, the working title for it is fairly obvious. It's Pancake the Dragon.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So Pancake the Dragon will be a rhyming book.
Oh,
it will be for kids and for people who just appreciate nature and science.
Okay.
But it will be pleasant and fun and silly.
Nice.
And it talks about Pancake and his day-to-day activities and cleaning up after Pancake and
training him to talk.
Yes, Pancake is
like that little tongue thing he does.
Pancake is really smart, like most animals, and they don't get enough credit for it. So one of the ways I like to show that reptiles are pretty smart is Pancake understands when I say, "Show me your bug face."
Yeah.
And he'll stick his tongue out for me. And I have many videos of this on my Instagram.
Go to her Instagram and see all that. It's
and it
funny.
pleases me deeply to do that for whatever reason. It just pleases me deeply. And so I want to say this too, Mux, about that.
Yeah.
Pancake has flipped on me. Now he'll show me the bug face when I'm not asking. And because I believe in positive reinforcement, it's like he's twisted my arm into giving him a bug when it's not bug time.
He's training you back.
He's training me back. That's exactly what's happening. He's training me back.
He's like, okay, I've gotten her to understand what this face means. Give me a bug.
This face means give me a bug. She finally gets it.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So one other last thing I wanted to kind of like talk to you about, this is still in the works too, so we're not going to really say, I guess, too much about it. But you joining us like this is one part of it. But you have some ideas of like, a little segment, like a specialty show that you want to do, and I don't know how much you want to say about that. All right, but.
I think I'll say I would like to do a show that I'm working on with you, and it's going to be an evening show. It's going to be relaxing and chill for people.
Some elements of ASMR.
A little bit of ASMR in it, some reading.
Yeah.
So if you need something to listen to and have a story, bedtime, this type of thing, it's going to be a relaxing, comfortable, chill place for people to be together as a community, whether it's Athens or you're outside of Athens and listening to us. I appreciate that so much. And we're going to just chill. The world can be a stressful place, so this will be an opportunity for us to just relax a little bit together without it being cheeseball. There's still going to be music videos, but it maybe won't be like the hardest music at that time.
And that's something I wanted to mention. Any artist out there, you got some new stuff coming out, and if you, or even old stuff, I guess it wouldn't matter.
Absolutely, it's fine if it's old.
If you've got some more like calming, relaxing style music or ambient kind of stuff,
yes, please,
things like that. We're submit it to Joker Joker. You can send it to tvjokerjoker@gmail.com. And it'll be filtered to her show. Just put Jen's show.
Thank you.
In the subject, and that way we'll know it's going to your show. So that's coming soon. No date just yet. But this is something we're working on. We're
talking about dates, so it's really happening. It's just a question of when, and we understand that there's a need for this, and we're going to try to step up to the bat together and fill it.
I think it's gonna be. I think we're going to have some fun with it. So, and then maybe Pancake will be making appearances on that show too.
Pancake will come.
I want to see Pancake.
Yes, Pancake's going to come.
Go to
the dragon.
Yeah, go to the Instagram because. She even this is another thing. We won't get too much into it, but you make these little tiny books. And
yes,
so
I do make little tiny books. It's true.
There's pictures of Pancake reading those books, and that was kind of like to me what kind of like sparked this idea of you doing a bedtime story reading type show.
Yes,
I thought it was cool. Anyways, so I guess that's enough. We'll let everybody wait for that to happen.
What's coming up next?
We'll wait for that to happen.
Yeah, let's talk about what's next.
What is next, Dain?
Well,
Manda
Dain, you want to
McKay?
tell us? Yeah, so
Manda
we've got
McKay.
2 things from Manda coming up. Her interview for the 13 Collective that you did, that'll be the first thing we watch. And then after that, during the interview, they talk about one of Manda's projects that she does on YouTube called Creativity Tips. And so we have one of those creativity tips that she's done recently.
Absolutely.
Right after her interview. So that's what you're about to see, and we'll be back after that, unless you got anything else.
No, I was just going to say
right.
I love the creativity tips, and I think that it's worth watching.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, we'll be right back.
All right.
Hi, this is Jen Davidson, and I'm here with Manda McKay, an incredible fine artist here in Athens, Georgia. And I'm going to go ahead and repeat this. This is Manda with an M. Not Amanda. We're not misspelling it here on JOKERJOKERtv. We're not mispronouncing it. It's Manda.
Well,
am I right?
Yes, although if people get 4 of the letters correct, that's okay with me.
That's why I'm here.
A few of them.
I'll be the hard ass, okay? I'll be the hard ass for you. Manda, we're talking a little bit tonight about the 13 Collective and the September 11th art party that's coming up. How are you involved with that?
Okay, well, I've got some art in the art party, and hopefully I will be doing some live painting. But basically my husband Chris and I were talking about doing some kind of a collective, and originally I was thinking of doing a character for it, and then the character would dance, and I'm hoping to do that in a future show. But for this, I'm sticking with painting. I'm predominantly an oil painter. And I'm going to try some live painting, as I said, probably during the show, which I've never done before.
Wow. Now, okay, I know what this is, but for those who are just curious and don't know, what's live painting?
Well, I mean, you could argue that anytime I paint, technically I'm live painting, but
that's true.
That is the term that has been thrown around. That just means that I will try working on a painting in the middle of the show.
That's fantastic. So we'll be able to see you actually creating art in the middle of a party about art that's been created.
Well, hopefully it'll be interesting and not just like watching somebody
It'll
paint.
be very interesting. I've seen your work. It's so beautiful. I would like to ask a little bit about that.
Okay.
I noticed so much femininity in the work that you put forth. Just beautiful, feminine power, raw, just stunning feminine power. How do you get your inspiration for including things like that in your art?
Oh, well, there are a few different ways that I get inspiration. Sometimes I read a news story or hear about something that happened to somebody that upsets me. I'll sometimes just have a flash of inspiration or even a dream, or I'll find something. I use objects that I collect in nature, and so I'll find something that speaks to me in some way or inspires me. Now, as far as what makes it feminine, that's a good question, and I'm glad that that comes across, because that's not something I try to do intentionally.
Really?
But I think that it's just coming from me being female and creating art that it's going to come out that way.
Yeah, there's some beautiful, delicate, feminine strength coming out of every painting I've seen that you have. Every single one.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm curious just to know when you started painting.
Well, I started painting when I was not even 3 years old, but that was just like with little watercolors. And
Sure.
My mom always encouraged me to be an artist. As far as these particular types of paintings with the still lifes of assembled natural objects, that was something that I started at the very, very end of 2010.
Okay, so you've gone for quite a good period of time. That may explain why you're so practiced and skilled at what you're doing too.
But I do have a lot of training.
Yes. Would you like to mention your training? You're welcome to.
Okay, sure. Well, like I said, it started with my mother giving me art lessons when I was a toddler, which had me, and I don't know like if I had any real ability to start with other than an interest in drawing and painting, but because I had these art lessons, by the time I was in, kindergarten or the first grade, I was a lot more advanced than my classmates, and so it seemed like I was a great artist. When I look back at the, stuff I did when I was 5 years old, it is obviously not very good. But so I continued with that and really liked it. And then I have an undergraduate degree from UGA in scientific illustration and my master's in medical illustration from the Medical College of Georgia.
This explains so much. I'm glad that we talked about that.
I think you can definitely see at least the scientific illustrator in there.
It really looks like a natural science illustration sometimes when you look at, I remember in particular there's a Luna moth wing in one of your pieces, and that just makes me think of the whole entire Luna moth, not just the wing, because it's so accurate and beautiful. And your creativity is boundless, which, speaking of, I happen to also pay attention to the fact that you do creativity tips for people online. I would love to know if, for those of us who haven't seen every single one of the videos that you've got, because I've seen several but not all, if you have one general creativity tip for anybody who happens to be listening or watching with us here.
Just one?
Yeah, just pick one that's your favorite or that you think is the most meaningful today.
Well, I will use then my very first creativity tip that I came up with, even though I just recorded it, and I use the term brain questing to differentiate it from brainstorming. With brainstorming, that's great if you don't really know where to start and you're just coming up with all of these different ideas all over the place. But brain questing would be if you have some kind of an idea of what you want, a painting or a song or a story to be about, and you're not quite sure exactly how you're going to do it yet. And so my tip would be to just keep going and try to come up with more and more ideas along this path. And I think that where people are naturally creative in a situation like this versus people who don't consider themselves to be creative is that the person who tends more towards creativity might have to go through 20 or 30 ideas to reach a point that they really like what they have. And I mean, like I said earlier, sometimes I just get a flash of inspiration and that's fine, but other times if it's something like a news story and I'm trying to think because I'm using a still life of natural objects, and so that's kind of limiting. You're not showing a person.
Sure.
So how do you show something that's happened to a person or is about a person? So that can be a little bit tricky using what I have that I can find in the woods or the swamp or wherever. So sometimes I do have to hash out a bunch of ideas to come up with one that makes sense where the viewer can tell what I'm talking about. If I gave up after just one or two ideas, a lot of times I just wouldn't be able to come up with a painting out of it.
That's so important. Makes sense. It makes perfect sense, Manda. And I love what you said about a brain quest. I have never heard that term before. I think I'm going to use it going forward. I really like it.
Well, thank you. And I even used the technique to come up with that term because I kept I kept coming up with different ideas of what I wanted to, like brain trekking. And then I would Google it to see if anybody else had already come up with that word, and they had 30 or 40 times.
Google.
And then just to see like if it's already being used or for something else.
Right.
And of course, nowadays you never know. Like you might come up with something that seems perfectly innocent, and no telling what it might actually mean.
Sure.
And so finally, after trying a bunch of different terms, I came up with brain questing, and hopefully it gets the point across at least.
That's phenomenal, and it completely does. I'm going to shift gears just a tiny bit, if I may.
Sure.
So, nothing too terribly personal, but I would like to talk about this interwoven theme with the 13 Collective of trauma. Trauma and resilience and healing. These are such important pieces of what can drive art, although make no mistake about it, people don't have to be traumatized in order to make good art. You can absolutely make incredible art without having had to be a survivor of some type of trauma. So just making sure that that's clear. That said, we all know a lot of art comes out of trauma. So what I wanted to ask is, how do you channel something that's a trauma? And you, the greater you, not you as an individual. Again, I'm not getting too personal. How do you or we channel trauma into art?
Well, for me, I try to make the art empowering to the viewer, and I try to think of it as artistic alchemy.
Beautiful terminology.
I don't know if everybody knows that the alchemists were, well, they didn't really, we'll assume they didn't really exist, but they tried to turn lead into gold. Probably shouldn't have been messing with lead in the first place. But,
they didn't know.
Yeah, and I don't think they succeeded in turning it into gold. But trying to take something negative or toxic like lead and portray it in a more beautiful way, which may be more specific to my art, because I'm painting things like seashells and, like you said, a Luna moth wing that I found on the forest floor.
Wow.
I would never kill the Luna moth. I love Luna moths, but but you know, sometimes bats or whatever will eat them, and there's the wing on the forest floor, and that's you know, death. That's the death of this creature.
Right.
And I try to use a beautiful natural object to get a concept across. So I think that's how I deal with it anyway, is trying to become an alchemist when I'm painting.
That's a pretty incredible way of describing it, to be an alchemist. And in some ways, depending on the type of paint that you're using, it could be a watercolor, you may really be creating something out of alchemy that way. That it may not be metal alchemy, but you're taking something that's a solid and turning it into a liquid and then turning it back into a solid again when the paint gets dry.
I actually never
cool.
thought of it that way.
Well, now you can.
Yeah.
Now you can. So I would like to ask another question. You are married to Chris McKay, another creative Athenian. What's it like being married to someone who's equally as creative as you are?
Actually, I think he's more creative, and that's saying a lot. I think it's definitely inspiring. Like he's always encouraging. We try to encourage each other with our creativity. It is really cool, like with these albums that he did last year, for example, and that the video that you were talking about with him earlier, the 11-minute video, that I've kind of got the front row seat for all of this.
You do.
But yeah, I think it's definitely an atmosphere of creativity in our home, and we will help each other out. For example, I shot some video of him playing that he used in this video that he made for the song "Price of a Wish." Let's see. I lost my train of thought there for a second.
That's okay. You don't have to even keep a train of thought. It's okay. We can talk about...
Oh, yeah, and then some, so I'm asked to do different creative things that aren't necessarily painting.
Right.
Which is what I'm predominantly an oil painter, and I would say secondarily a photographer, but I'm often asked to do things that are not my normal field of creativity, and actually I need to do a video about that tip, because that's always good to do something that's not your normal creative practice. But that would be, for example, filming, like trying to film him.
Sure.
When I definitely don't consider myself a filmmaker. And the first AI album that he did, The Other Side of the Question, I'm actually the voice at the end. And I'm so proud of that, because apparently he couldn't get the voice to sound right that he was trying to create. And he was sitting next to me on the couch with headphones on working on the song, and I couldn't really hear what he was working on, and I was just doing some art ideas or something. And then he's like, "Could you say 2 lines for me?" And he hands me a microphone as we're both sitting there on the couch, and then he's like, "Just say these 2 lines." And so I did 3 takes of it, and then I guess he used the 3rd one. But
that's amazing. I did not know that.
Or I'm in some of the videos, and where it's like, okay, come out, it's dark, like it's pitch black, but let's figure out a way to film this where we're not just using like a light outside or something.
Right.
And I think we were experimenting with like a candle and stuff to get the effect, and so there's just always some like weird thing that we haven't done before that we're trying to create, or a photo session. I remember a long time ago we did a photo session for one of his album covers, and we were, and this was with like film, not digital, and like a really cheap old camera, and just trying to take pictures in the dark, like in a pitch black room, and just lighting it in different ways. And of course you can't really, with film, you can't even check how you're doing, which was really a different scenario way back then. But we came up with some interesting stuff. We really did. So
that sounds pretty amazing. Your whole body of work is pretty amazing. What would you like people to know about your artwork that we have not talked about today?
Oh goodness, what would I like them to know? Well, I hope that it would be empowering to the viewer. I think we did already say that.
We did.
Let's see, what would I like them to know? I try to combine nature and activism in my paintings. And I think natural objects will draw people in automatically. We all have an affinity for nature.
We do.
So I do think that makes my topics a bit more palatable for some of the more intense topics, instead of seeing a suffering person, or something, somebody who has suffered trauma and crying or whatever. So I try to make it where it's not traumatic to view the artwork.
So it sounds like, if I may, it sounds like you're helping people to process their trauma even through your artwork. We can process our separate individual traumas because you're giving us a way to look at things like death in the wing or whatever a piece of something in nature that you found is, and to reframe it, they would say, in a therapeutic context, or maybe just to reinvent it or alchemize it into something different. And I think that's pretty incredible. So I'd like to ask also, how can people stay in touch and reach you or follow your work?
Okay, let's see, my website for my art is mandamckay.com. Simple.
Perfect.
I am on Facebook. And I have my YouTube channel that I started earlier this year, and I have 38 videos so far with my creativity tips. And that's also meant to be empowering to people, by the way. Using creativity to empower yourself, and hopefully this is not for my YouTube channel in specific, but I do think that creativity is key. If more people could work on developing their creativity and their creative practice, even if it's just a hobby and not something serious, I do think that would help us out as a society. Because if you're being creative, then by definition you're having an original thought, and you're not just reposting a meme or something that somebody said that you've not even researched yourself.
You're right.
But as far as my YouTube channel, since you asked how to get in touch with me,
yes.
I think technically it's at Manda McKay Art, but if you just type Manda McKay into YouTube, that should bring it up. So just my name. Okay,
Manda McKay on YouTube. I have seen some of those videos. They're wonderful creativity tips.
Well, thank you. I think there really was nothing. There's so little on YouTube with creativity tips, which could mean that nobody's interested in that.
You know,
but I don't think so.
I don't think so. What I notice, and we can wrap up with this, but what I notice is that people are giving tips on how to take your creativity and monetize it. And everybody wants a tip on how to take your creativity and monetize it. Everybody wants to make a video saying they know how
to take
their creativity and monetize it.
Don't ask me how to make
money.
What
we don't have is people who are giving a voice to the creatives and just saying, here's how you keep on creating. Here's how you start to create. Here's how, when you get stuck, you go over an obstacle to your creation process. And all of those videos, and I'm sure the ones that you have to come that are going forward, are going to be just incredible. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope everyone will come and see you live painting September 11th at the art party for the 13 Collective, which we're in together.
Yay.
Yay.
Hi, my name is Manda McKay. I'm a professional artist, and I'm going to be giving you creativity tips that will help you whatever your level of expertise. Now, today I'm going to talk about a tip that I know that you've all heard before, and it's something that I think is actually a very useless tip, but I'm going to tell you how you can make it into something useful after all. So this tip that I know that we've all heard before is think outside the box. Okay, I know you've heard that even if you've never tried to do anything creative in your life. And really, what does that tip even mean? I mean, basically it's just saying be creative. It's just saying think of something that nobody else could possibly think of. And okay, that's great, but how? You know, you're not telling me how I'm supposed to accomplish this. So I'm going to show you how you can actually make this tip work for you by simply having a bigger box that you're going to think inside of. Now, I read this article years ago that was actually supposed to be promoting the concept of thinking outside the box, and to me it does the exact opposite. So supposedly there was some microscopic anatomical feature and scientists could not figure out what its function was. And according to the story, an engineer happened to walk into the room, see what they were working on, recognize that it looked like some random engineering thing, and said, well, maybe it has the same function. And it turns out it did, so he solved the problem. So this article was saying this is a perfect example of why you need to think outside the box. But can you see what's actually wrong with the story? The engineer wasn't thinking outside the box at all. He was an engineer looking at things from an engineer's perspective, so he was actually thinking within his engineering box. It just happened to be a different box than what the scientists were thinking in. So I think it just proves if there is such a thing as a box, you're going to most likely be stuck within your own box. And so what you have to do to make this work for you is just expand the box so that you have more things to influence your creativity. So how do you do that? Well, the first thing I would say is to start with your artistic influences. Let's say that you're a painter. Who's your artistic influence? Okay, pretend that it's Picasso. So start with Picasso and you see who influenced and inspired Picasso. Who inspired him to become who he did later become. And then go in the opposite direction. Who did Picasso influence himself? You know, who found Picasso to be inspiring? And hopefully this will take you down some rabbit holes that will be of interest to you and very helpful, because if Picasso is one of your influences, then most likely looking around to what came before and after him is going to help inspire you, because it's already going to be a field of art that you're interested in. Now, another thing that you can do to again help expand your box is to pick a different field of creativity. So in this case, if you're a painter, you would probably, okay, maybe you could think of a songwriter. So who would be a songwriter that inspires you, even though you're not planning to write any songs yourself, but just this is something that, there's somebody who inspires you, and maybe if you were to write songs, you wish you could write songs like this person did. And you do the same process where you look into, okay, well, what inspired this person, and then who do they in turn inspire? And again, this will hopefully be basically just giving you more things, an interesting rabbit hole to go down, and just more things that will be kind of peripheral, at least, to the sort of thing that you're interested in. And then you want to take it even beyond that to make as big of a box as possible and learn about things that really have nothing to do with whatever your creative hobby or whatever your artistic field is. And if you're one of those people who just likes to learn anything and everything, then that's going to serve you really well for this, because you're going to have all sorts of a variety of things to draw from, and making your box that you're thinking within a very big box. Now, if you aren't somebody who just wants to learn anything that there is to learn, then just come up with a couple of different things that interest you that are completely unrelated to art. Maybe you like cars, maybe you're into history, maybe travel, and try to just go down some rabbit holes of things that interest you in those fields. And of course, the beauty of it is that if these are things that you're really interested in and not just learning about because you think that you need to, they're probably going to influence you on some level anyway. Like if travel, if you're inspired by the Grand Canyon, then maybe that sense of majesty and awe is something that's going to help inspire your artwork or your songwriting or whatever it is that you do. So again, you just want to make that box as big as possible, because if there really is such a thing as a box, you're probably not going to really be thinking outside of it. So you just want to make it as big as possible so that when you're thinking about anything creative inside your box, you just have that much more room to work with. So I hope you found this tip helpful. And if you did, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And again, my name is Manda McKay. And thanks again for watching.
All right, we're back. I don't have my headphones on yet.
That was Manda McKay, creativity tips. We're gonna... Weird. That's weird.
Yeah, creativity tips.
Shush.
So, man, isn't that weird?
Shush.
Yeah.
We're gonna need a bigger box.
We're gonna need a bigger box. Yeah.
Yes.
So that is just one of many that she has on her YouTube channel. So definitely go check out her YouTube channel. I think I have it linked in the description of this video, so you can find it there. I forget what the.
Thank you very much, Manda.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah.
And that I forget how long she said she'd been doing the creativity tips thing, like about maybe a year now.
I don't remember.
I don't know, but she's got a lot of videos on her channel.
She's doing it weekly, I think.
Oh yeah, cool,
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk. I guess I wanted to mention that I will be performing at the
yes.
at this event as well. So
Mux, let me ask you a couple questions about it.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all,
went out again.
Oh no! Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I had to. Okay. So Mux,
there it goes.
You're going to be performing live.
Yeah.
At the 13 Collective Art Party and album release. And you're going to be performing something quite interesting that, frankly, I'd never heard of until I met you. But the sound is a familiar sound. And you were explaining about what that sound is and the origins and some of the verbiage. We were learning about that. So it's very interesting. Tell me a little bit about what's going on here and what you have in your lap,
Okay.
what this musician tool is.
So this is something that I kind of like put together. It's a cassette tape player. Okay. I went in there and I did some modifications to the whole thing. One of the things that I did is pulled out the magnet that it's a erase head. So when you record onto a cassette tape, it erases what was there.
Okay.
And puts on new stuff. So I took that out so that I could layer stuff.
Interesting.
But then I also the cogs that kind of drive the cassette in here.
Sure.
That spin. I broke those out, and I created this separate device which has one of the cogs on the end of it there.
And what do you call this device?
So this device overall is the tape bender. Is what I call it. So with this, and I perform, I've performed a lot of times with this as an instrument that here. I'm going to have to maybe do a little demonstration here.
Please do a demonstration.
So that everybody kind of gets what's going on here. But
I'd like to see what's happening.
I've used it in performances before. And so, but for this event, I'm doing this kind of concept with it,
Right.
Which if you're out there, if you've heard of like Chopped and Screwed, old hip hop kind of way of doing some mix down and remixes and stuff like that. This kind of, to me, it falls in line with a little bit with that. So what I'm doing is I have the cassette here. In this particular case, it's sort of a self-help tape.
Right.
But
you said it was something funny about like vitamins.
Like vitamins or something. Yeah, like taking vitamins or some. I don't know. I've kind of, because of the layering of stuff, you can't necessarily listen to it. What's actually there, but you'll see. Here, I'm going to move the microphone so that you can hear it.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. That should work.
Give it a roll. There you go. It stopped for a second.
Rewind it.
It's easy to forget that you ever felt sick. That's why it's so important to fill out the personal health evaluation sheet.
Have you ever felt sick? I heard it say.
And make you more aware of the wonderful.
So the really cool thing, and the reason why I like to use these self-help tapes and stuff like that is because it will just randomly land on something good, and it's like, oh man, that was so good. That was a cool little
was wild
little clip there. So that's this is like something that I use a lot of times. But so this new concept that I've developed recently was to take someone else's song,
right,
and screw it down with this kind of tape bender device and do like a weird rendition of or weird version of their song.
And whose song are you thinking about using for a live performance?
Well,
if you don't mind revealing, or is it too secret?
Totally. I'll tell you. I'll give it all away.
Okay.
Give it all away.
Give it all away. So Chris is putting out one of the albums he's putting out for this release party is a brand new vinyl. Damn it, I can't remember the name of it right now. Do you remember?
It's by Minefield, and it's called
Yeah.
The Price of a Wish.
There you go. That's it.
Yay.
And there's a song on it called "Coming Soon," and I'm gonna use that song as
Wow.
as the song that I'm mixing down. So it may not even come out sounding like his song at all, but it'll be using pieces of his song, which is kind of in my mind sort of a joke about the AI thing too. Because
Right.
AI steals from people. Everybody says that, stealing from artists.
But people steal from people.
But I'm gonna steal back from AI.
Yeah, you
and
do
I'm gonna
it.
make something new out of it.
You do it.
So
You
that's
do
the
it.
idea of what anyways.
Are you going to have other people playing with you too?
Maybe. Yeah, that's this show, there's a certain chaos to this show.
Absolutely.
It's an art party, so it's not necessarily a show where everybody's standing in front of the stage watching a band play.
Right.
In the dark. There's going to be art in every corner of the room, and there's going to be live artists doing stuff. Like Manda's going to be there doing something live. Lindsay, who the interview we got coming up next, she's going to be doing some live pottery stuff. So
live
it's like this
and sculpting from some of these artists.
Yeah, and then there's going to be spoken word artists. There's going to be band. There is going to be like 1 or 2 band kind of things. And
yes.
If Chris
Check the Signs is one of the bands.
Yeah, that's right. And then Slightly Famous Somebodies.
Slightly Famous Somebodies.
Yeah, and
they are slightly famous.
John
somebodies.
Fernandez is going to be there doing some stuff. Keith Bennett is going to. So
yes,
we've got. It's going to be an interesting event. I don't know exactly what to expect, even though I'm in it.
None of us do.
Yeah. But
None of us know exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
But we've come to love the flow of the chaos
I think it's
into
gonna be great.
just something wonderful. We know it's going to turn out to be fantastic.
Yeah.
That's kind of what's exciting about it.
Yeah.
So
get there early. You got to see the whole thing. My performance is the first thing, so I go first. So yeah, get there early.
Absolutely, 7 to 10 p.m.
Yep.
7 to 10 p.m.
At Cine.
And at Cine.
Downtown
and
Athens.
I'd like to also ask you, where do people follow you, reach you, and keep up with you?
Well, on JOKERJOKER
Yeah, on JOKERJOKER
But no, you can find me Mux Blank on Facebook and Instagram. I think, damn it, I should have been more prepared with this. My YouTube channel, I've got a lot of videos there of stuff I've done. I think that's Mr. Blank is Dead. Well, MrBlankIsDead.com is my website. MrBlankIsDead.com. That's you'll find it all there in one of those places.
I laugh every time Dain does a voice.
Bandcamp, I'm on Bandcamp. Mr. Blank on Bandcamp. So.
Yes. Okay. Don't forget Mr. Blank on Bandcamp. That's important.
Yeah.
We've got your Bandcamp. We know to find you on JOKERJOKER
You find me here every week.
We know how to
some
submit
way or another.
TV JOKERJOKER.
Yeah.
At gmail.com is how people reach you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, so let's move on.
What's next? What's next, you guys?
So the last interview for the night is Lindsay Swan.
Lindsay.
And
phenomenal artist.
Phenomenal. And the backdrop that you see in all these interviews is her art. You see her one of her sculptures with its hands out like this. Her stuff is, person-sized pieces of clay pottery. It's amazing. Like there's like some 5-6 foot tall
stunning pieces.
And super detailed, really cool stuff. And so I don't know exactly what she's bringing, but we'll see. But she's going to also be sculpting live.
I think she's bringing the art and the alchemy.
Yeah.
And the texture.
Free gold for everyone.
I think that's what she's bringing.
Bring your lead.
Yeah.
Bring your lead.
She even talked about that in her interview, which is coming up right now. Yeah.
Oh,
she talks about
Andy
that.
just in the chat there saying hi. Say hi, Andy.
Hey, Andy.
I see Chris McKay in there too.
Yay.
James Davidson. I think you know him.
I know him pretty well. Pretty well.
All right, let's get to the interview, and we'll be back in just a little bit.
Hey everyone, this is Jen Davidson, and I'm here this evening with an incredible local artist. I'm a personal fan, and I was an instant personal fan of Lindsay Swan, who is here with us today. So, Lindsay, thank you for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So, let's start out. You're a part of the 13 Collective.
Yes.
And so am I.
Correct.
And what binds us?
What binds us?
What brings us together?
Well, beyond the fact that we're a whole bunch of freaks.
Right, a whole bunch of freaks.
I mean, in the best
we
way
are
possible.
A whole bunch of freaks in the best way possible.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we're here to discuss trauma.
We're here to discuss trauma, okay?
And resilience.
Resilience.
And create a community where, we can feel heard and also supported.
Okay, and if you can hear, she's saying that so we can create a community where we can feel heard, seen, supported.
Correct.
Right. So, how does art help us cope with trauma?
oh, well, there's a long history of art therapy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of us are artists in one way or another, musicians, visual artists,
right,
actors, comedians,
right,
dancers.
So it's not as if one type of art is better than another at handling whatever trauma brings its way to an artist.
Well, no, I mean, it's just about processing trauma, and I think that art helps you do that.
So speaking of processing and processes, when we spoke on the phone, you described something to me that I can only call incredible, which is part of your process in making pottery and ceramics, but also the glaze that you make. And I was wondering if you could speak a little bit about putting words into clay and a little bit about putting the glaze into clay.
So, you know, some artists, when you think about bringing meaning to visual art, there's different ways to do it. Mine, I like to bring in psychology, process, emotional processing. My work is heavily introspective.
Right.
So, you know, my trauma is based on early childhood traumas, so mental, physical, and sexual abuse. And what I did with my recent show was I took a lot of my journals. I journaled directly into clay. So I carved my journals into clay slabs and hung them from a ceiling. But on one side it was like fully textured and sculpted and you know, fragmented pieces of my face. So I carved onto the back of it.
That's so beautiful,
and
Lindsay.
I created this timeline. The timeline was, you know, prior to preparing for this show, I'd always, you know, in therapy, had worked on like one traumatic event at a time, but I wanted to see the whole altogether. Right. And I created this timeline, essentially because a lot of my trauma happened, you know, as early as like, that I can remember is like 3.
Sure.
Some of that happened as early as 3, maybe even earlier. And I was trying to remember where I was, and I was trying to figure out how old I was with some of this memory, these memories that had flooded back. And so I was creating this timeline essentially to, I don't know how to describe it, as just to see like the whole bigger picture.
To place things in a bigger picture.
Right, I was organizing it. I was organizing trauma. And that's what the hung fragments from the ceiling of my show were. All of those. I mean, there was like over 500 hanging from the ceiling. I think there's actually a lot more. I just only put in 500.
Incredible.
For the show.
Incredible.
So I carved directly into clay. I mean, I do a lot of processing, emotional processing inside my sculptures. The ones that don't open, I actually carve my journals into the slab and then build so it's on the inside and no one can see it, but I know it's there.
Incredible.
Some are vessels that you can open up and you can see the written things on the inside. Some early on, prior to me carving into it, I used to write on paper and tuck it inside sculptures that were hollow and fire them so it would burn away and the ash would be inside them.
This I love.
And it's all like emotional processing. So, you know, I got this idea to keep doing processing, and my show was also full of rag rope. I had almost 600 yards of rag rope that I made myself, and my husband and I dyed it.
Which is, for those who don't know, a literal rope that's made out of rags. That's what we're talking about.
So what I did to create the rag rope is my mother years ago had given me old sheets from when I was a little kid and my old clothes and all kinds of different fabric things. So I tore them into strips and I like bound them with new fabric that I tore into strips in order to kind of strengthen it, and create something useful.
To strengthen it and to create something useful.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty good way of describing the transformation and the alchemy that takes place when you're creating art.
Mm-hmm. So then we dyed it, and all of that rag rope has little bits of these emotional traumatic memories bound with new fabric. And my husband helped me dye it, so it became this process of us coming together and him helping me.
Beautiful.
And he's awesome. I have a really good husband.
I'm so happy to hear this.
So the other thing, you asked about the ash glaze.
Yes.
Okay, so I host, well, for a long time it was just me, but I recently started hosting fire nights with some of the 13. And we call them manifestation fires. So what we do is, I have a wood fire. And, I guess essentially to open that up, we write about the things that we are thankful for. Just to kind of bring us into this like headspace of positive and, genuinely happy. And we throw that into the fire. And then we, get introspective and we start thinking about, I guess negative patterns of behavior, or at least I like to focus on my negative patterns of behavior that I would like to figure out more healthy ways to address them and I guess like continue to grow as a person. I've been doing this for a very, very long time, but I see like if something upsets me, I see it as an opportunity to heal from it and to come up with a better way of handling things. Because I was a child of extreme abuse. So
right. And you have a right to be a child or an adult however you feel is necessary to heal.
Right, but I was taught not healthy patterns of behavior.
Right.
So
sure.
It's really important to move past that and continue to grow.
Absolutely.
And I think that that's going to be something I do for the rest of my life. I'm always going to be healing, and I'm always going to be finding old traumatic wounds that resurface. So it's, like, I guess that shift of perspective of, I'm never going to heal to, I can. It's just sometimes they resurface, and that's an opportunity to heal.
That's a really lovely way of thinking about things. Mux and I earlier were talking about PTSD and CPTSD, which
I'm CPSD.
I'm
CPTSD.
Also CPTSD, complex PTSD.
Correct.
PTSD is for people, for those of you who don't know, it describes a situation that may have caused trauma, and it's born out of a single general incidents for the most part. CPTSD or complex PTSD is the result of multiple ongoing or several incidents. So that's all I'm going to say about that, because I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist here. I am someone who's interviewed over 300 trauma survivors, and there's a sensitivity to that. But I want to leave that form of expertise to those who do it and say, I think that what you're doing is incredible and healing, but it also models healing for other people who aren't sure how to take their art and direct it into a way that can be healing in a meaningful way. Like,
right.
I look at your art and I think, wow, if she can put words of courage, and that's what I'm choosing to call your journals, words of courage, because a journal is private. Not everybody wants to share with everybody. And you took a step. You created beautiful art. This is transmuting the clay into the art and the experience of abuse into the art. And it made me think, I'm a writer and I'm very verbal and I like words a lot. what could I do with my words if I wasn't afraid to do something with my words? What could I do? And I haven't answered that question yet, but I've asked the question because of you.
Well, sorry, I'm starting to sweat now.
No, it's
in
okay.
my palms. I'm like, oh,
it's okay.
Okay, the first time, I don't recommend it for everyone. The first time I tried to speak about this with a group of people that had never experienced, my kind of trauma. Yeah, I threw up. Just in front of everybody, and then I kind of just got up and ran away. So, but I was doing that. I purposefully chose that for my master's program in ceramics. And I did it because my family wanted me to retract disclosure. They wanted, a particular family member wanted me to retract so that they could protect the family member that did that to me.
Which is very common, by the way. This is very common when an abuse survivor comes forward, that for every abuse survivor, there's somebody back there who doesn't want the story told and doesn't want the healing to take place in an open fashion.
So there were a lot of narratives that were spun. And I had to either continue doing what I was doing, which was maintain the silence.
Right.
Or I had to allow that family member to spin a narrative in order to protect themselves and the other family member.
Right.
And I chose, I remember thinking, well, I've been doing this for so many years. What if I do something different now? What if I, instead of just saying it inside my family, what if I speak it out loud publicly?
Wow.
Because that's what they did not want me to do.
Of course.
And I kind of did a fuck it, ride or die type thing. Like, let's just do it. Right? I was like, how do I learn how to speak about this publicly? And I thought, okay, so if I go get my master's degree, I can focus on this as my thesis and learn how to speak in front of people. And it took 3 years of me talking in front of groups of people to actually be able to speak about it without throwing up or breaking down into tears. And like,
you acclimated over a period of 3 years then.
And I had to do it so often that I just, sometimes I still break down, but for the most part I can speak about it now.
Wow.
And it took making that decision, and I did that specifically so that I could speak to other family members and be able to explain the psychology behind it so that I could sound rational instead of responding through emotions.
Sure.
And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to learn how to be able to speak about it without having that overwhelming emotional response so that I could help other family members understand what was happening.
That's an incredible, very generous choice that you make to the people who are in your life.
It wasn't for other people in the beginning.
Fair.
It was so that I could get a support system within my family. Realistically, that's what I needed. And I needed to be able to talk about it.
And you are able to talk about it, and this is a testament to that, is that you're sitting with me, and we've had some phone conversations, but we don't know each other closely. This is an open and public conversation on an open and public channel.
Right. So what ended up happening is when I was, getting my thesis, it was overwhelming. And at first early on, I actually had made this decision that it was too hard for me. It was just too hard. And the day I made that decision, I'd spoken to the head of my department, who was also my thesis chair. And I told him, I need to change my thesis. And he was like, that's fine, you can do it. You're in the first year. You can do that. Just come up with some ideas and we'll talk about it on Monday. And that same day, was in my studio and I was just sitting back trying to think, okay, what could I possibly make my thesis about? And another survivor came into my studio. It was late night. They came in and they told me how, talking about this made them feel like they were validated.
Yes, it's validating.
And that it helped them. And they said the same thing you did, courage. They're like,
courage.
I can't believe you have that courage. And
in the art, courage is...
This person had never even told a therapist before. I was the first person they disclosed.
And that's what you're capable of opening up in other people. You personally, not just the collective you.
Right.
But you personally are capable of doing that.
So in that moment, I, we talked for hours. I listened. And then, in that moment, I started to realize this really wasn't about my healing. This was like a collective we healing. And if I even helped just one other person, then my art did its job.
Do you have any concept of how many people you've helped in your life? And that would include students, because students may not come forward, but...
So actually, yes, I do, because as time went on, that was a 3-year program. I had students, I had faculty members, I had people who worked at the school who weren't faculty.
Right.
All come up into my studio because they had overheard me speaking inside the classrooms through critiques or, heard about it through other people.
Sure.
And they all came to tell me their stories.
It's really incredible, and I wish we had more time to talk about that specific thing, and maybe we can do another part where we do.
I did start looking into statistics.
Okay.
And I was, trying to figure out how many students we had in the art program and how many faculty members and also people who worked in the school that weren't, professors.
Right.
And statistically, the amount of people that came forward to just me at ECU, there were way more people statistically than what is actually in the statistics.
That's also
way
part
more.
Because
by a lot.
Statistics can only measure what's reported.
Correct.
They can't count or guesstimate
the
cases that aren't reported. So
Correct.
We're dealing with a number that we know in advance is not the number. No matter what the number is of how many people who have been abused statistically, it's always going to be lower than actuality. It's going to be lower than reality because we do not have a way to track every single case. Every single case is not reported. There's a great deal of literature and discourse about why people do not open up and tell, and that maybe can be subject for another day too. But the statistics are never going to catch up because people will never report at the rate at which this is actually happening.
So I forgot to end the ash glaze thing.
End the ash glaze thing. We're going to put a parentheses and then we're going to talk about the symbol and then we'll wrap up.
So the ash glaze, the fire makes ash.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And every single one of those fire nights have intention and emotions and processing inside that fire. But the third part of that process is to manifest something for not yourself.
Right.
But for a collective to help other people. And that's what that manifestation is. So we write out on paper things that we would like to do in order to help our community and chuck that into the fire. Okay?
Yeah.
So that fire creates ash, and wood ash specifically, is the main ingredient. It's 50% of one of my glaze recipes. So I take that, I collect it, and after I save enough for a 5-gallon bucket of glaze, I'll mix that in with the other ingredients to make ash glaze, and then I cover my sculptures with it.
I just love this story, and that's why I asked her to tell it. I just think it's really rad. That's why I asked.
So I do a lot with taking emotional processing and putting it into either the physical materials of the work
and texturing
and texturing.
She's big with textures.
I love texture.
Yes, I like textures too. That's why I noticed. I want to ask for a second about this symbol that represents the 13 Collective. What can you tell me just in a brief summary? What's this symbol that we see here? It looks like something alchemy related, but I don't know.
It definitely is. That's I forgot the name of it off the top of my head.
It's okay if you don't know. It's okay.
It's the 3 circles.
Okay.
Bound together. It's
the triquetra?
Yes, thank you. It's the
this
triquetra.
Little guy right
yes, here. That's exactly what it is. Which is a protective symbol.
Yes.
And I had that on the ceiling of my solo show recently in a woodcut. But I have it hidden in these vines.
Okay.
So that design is hidden into the vines, just the 3 spheres.
Okay.
When you look at that sculpturally. So, Chris and I were talking about symbols and numbers. And I was telling him, that there was all these different points. When you look at it from a flat perspective. And I was like, however, when I was young, I was in my early 20s, I sculpted that. Right?
Oh, wow.
And I sculpted it into there were these different parts. I did it to make a mold and then cast with. And I was explaining that there's actually a piece in between. So in between the spheres. So I hollowed out, I guess I have to do it like this. The Vesica Pisces.
Circle part in the middle.
The Vesica Pisces where they meet. And then that piece in the center was I couldn't figure out how to get them to fit perfectly until I created this new shape, and it had a 13th point to it.
That's pretty freaking cool.
I couldn't, I was trying to explain to Chris, and he was like, oh, show me pictures. And I was like, yeah, I left that thing out in the woods in Seattle. I was young. It's probably decayed now. And I was like, I did take pictures of it, but, yeah, this was back when we had film cameras.
Yes.
And I remember leaving Seattle to go to Southern California, and I lost my wallet, and I had my film inside my wallet. I hadn't, yeah, totally. And all of these sculptures that I left in the woods, because I did all this natural work. I carved, and I did, giant wood sculptures, and I did all these cast things. I just left them in the woods.
That's pretty cool too.
So yeah, that's gone. And I was he was like, well, maybe you could sculpt it again. And I laughed, and I was like, yeah, no, not right now.
No,
not right now.
But were you able to draw it?
Well, I was I found images, kind of the spheres, and I was like, well, here's the sphere, but when you take this apart, and I was explaining the 13th point, and he just kind of started doodling that, and he was like, what about this?
And that's how we have it.
What about this? And I was like, yeah, close enough.
Until we have it.
I kind of did I like it. It's close enough.
I like it. I like it.
It's a 2D perspective.
It could be a cool tattoo.
You can get a tattoo. I will not watch it happen because I might.
Okay, well, we won't do that then. Never mind the tattoos. The tattoos are off the table.
We could do a henna.
We could do a henna. We could do a
henna party.
We could do that. Before I forget, as we wrap up, I would love to know how people can stay in touch with you and follow your work.
Oh, well, I mean, social media.
Social media,
I have
okay.
a website, lindsayswan.net.
lindsayswan.net. And just for those of you who aren't looking at this screen, it's S-A-Y, not S-E-Y. Lindsay Swan, if you're going to look at it that way. .net, not .com.
I mean, I think everyone at this point has a Facebook page, unless,
Facebook, Instagram.
Correct.
You're there.
I'm in both those places.
You're fancy pantsy something, aren't you?
No, not fancy pantsy.
What is it?
Fancy pants.
Fancy pants. Fancy pants.
So that's my prankster nickname.
Okay. You can see that she's a prankster, and we are going to have to talk to her again because there's just not enough time, but this is too much fun. So, and we got into some heavy stuff. We're going to get into some lighter stuff next time, maybe, okay?
Okay.
Okay. And I would like to thank you for being here. And your work can be seen at the 13 Collective event, which is on 9/11/25. My work will also be there, as will Mux's. And we hope you can make it. It's going to be from 7 to 10 p.m. at the Cine Lab.
Great.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
I didn't pay attention.
So yeah, there at the end, like she mentioned something that could be a whole nother interview about her history and art and some stuff she's done, where she traveled with the Merry Pranksters.
Yes, that's right. I remember from the interview.
Like one of the things that she did with them is the bus, the Merry Prankster bus. She painted a big giant mural on the bus itself. So like, I've never seen the bus, so I wouldn't have seen the artwork in person. But
you have a bus.
I do have a bus. Yeah, it's broke down.
But it's really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. It's very
cool.
So
that is the first part of the interviews. We're gonna have I think at least 3 or more, maybe 4 more next week. All different artists that are going to be performing at the 13 Collective event that's happening September 11th at Cine Theaters here in Athens.
Yes, 7 to 10 p.m. The event is free.
Yeah.
So you have no excuse to stay home, because what are you doing on September 11th anyway? You should come and see us.
And then we were talking about Cine.
Are we back? Are we back?
Yeah.
All right.
We're back. That's great.
It came back. So the storm had us technical difficulties there. But
it happens.
We're
it
back
simply
now.
happens.
What were we talking about?
So we were talking about the show at Cine, and we were talking about the date, the time, the place, 7 to 10 p.m., September 11th at Cine Lab. And we really encourage you to come and join us there. It's going to be something fun. And we know also that these interviews are not what's typical for you, and we appreciate deeply that you watch and care about our community and about what drives the arts in our great city of Athens. So thank you so much.
All right, so I did have, before we go, we're here at the end of the show. Before we go, though, I wanted to mention one special note. Okay, hold on. Let me get in there. So a contributor to the show, Sean Derek Cooper, my quat, out of Berlin. Isn't that where he is? Berlin?
Yeah, he's in Berlin.
So he's been having some health issues. He used to do a specialty segment on our show, kind of like the way we've been working on your idea. He would submit videos from artists that he knew about.
Okay.
And so he created this, it's called Friends of Aquarius.
Ooh.
And you can go on our channel and see all his episodes of Friends of Aquarius
it's a lot of
right
Berlin
now.
Stuff. Oh,
I will take that as my homework assignment.
Really cool stuff from around the world.
Like, the lights are flickering around us.
The lights are still flickering. We better get going. But pull that.
It's not there anymore. Sorry.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, here, I'm going to tell everybody. He has a GoFundMe. I'm going to just read off what it is. It's a bunch of numbers and letters. But it's GoFundMe.me. Sorry, let me start over. GoFund.me/035E2FFA. So if you go, I thought we were going to have it. We could paste it into the.
It didn't say.
Yeah, when the power went out.
Yeah. So now it's not there anymore.
So
rewind
that and listen to it in slow motion if you have to. But go and donate if you can. This is to help him pay for.
Oh, it's in the description.
Oh,
yes.
No, well, it will be. It will be.
Okay. And we wish him well.
Yeah, and we wish him well for sure. I hope he gets well. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, we'll be seeing more videos from him soon.
Oh yeah. We got a lot of new stuff that he sent in from us for us to put on. So that'll be coming up over the next couple weeks and everything. So
fantastic.
So, what do you think? First show. How do you feel?
I think it was fun. I think I'll just improve as I go. How does that sound?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were great.
I thought you were great. It was fun to have you on the show.
Oh,
so.
thank you guys.
Yeah.
I felt like I was having a great time. It was really fun.
Yeah.
It's good to hear.
Chris McKay says thanks.
Oh, thank you, Chris. We love you, Chris.
Sure, Chris.
Thank you to everyone who is watching.
Yeah. And thanks to Dain running the board back there.
Thank you, Dain.
No sweat, guys.
So I'm Mux Blank.
And I'm Jen Davidson.
We'll see you next week.
All right, bye-bye.